You are welcome to Our Moments, a program for women. It's a program that helps women out there, more so those at the grassroots level. We always look out for those women who are role models in life and those who are still struggling to be someone in this life. Well, today on the program, I bring you one of those ladies that you've been asking for on the program. It has really been some time, but at least we did manage to get her. This is Dr. Maggie Kigozi. She is a business woman, she is a doctor, and she is a mother. Well, she's going to be telling us about her life journey. Well, maybe what she says on the program can make an impact on your life out there as a woman. Well, good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good to have you on the program.
Thank you. Good afternoon, viewers.
You look lovely.
Thank you.
Always, you don't change.
Thank you.
Well, tell me about your life. Who is Dr. Maggie Kigozi? There might be a woman out there who maybe she has read about you, but she didn't get the real details. Who is Dr. Maggie Kigozi?
Okay. I am a medical doctor. Uganda.
Okay.
Mixed, of course. I do have British ancestors.
Okay.
So a bit of both. But because I live here, I feel very much part of Uganda. I am also, I don't practice actually medicine anymore.
I was going to ask you that.
No.
Okay.
I stopped over 20 years ago practicing and went to join business. I also worked in business for a while and then joined government.
Okay.
I retired from government again 5 years ago and went back to business and also started to try farming.
Okay, yes. That's good to know. Well, tell me about your childhood, the whole setting at the home, how it was, how you were brought up, just to know the real you. And because you know what you become in future, it's predetermined by how you were raised back at home.
I was raised by my father, who was a civil engineer with the Ministry of Works.
Okay.
So I particularly was born in Fort Portal. He traveled around a lot because he would be the regional engineer and he went from place to place. I have 4 brothers.
Okay.
And I have no sisters.
Wow.
My mother was a very good, what we would call a fashion designer now, but at that time we used to look at her as a dressmaker.
But it's in the blood, we can see it. The things you cannot hide, it still comes out.
It still comes out.
Yes.
Yes, she was able to make you a dress in half an hour. So I grew up with not that we were particularly rich. It was, at least he was working. My father was working. So
middle class.
Middle class. We lived in most of our lives. From Fort Portal, we moved to
okay.
Just near Kampala. At that time, it was a bit of a village, 10 kilometers out of Kampala, but now it's part of Kampala.
Yeah, very true.
At that time, it wasn't. So 10 kilometers out, and that's where we grew up, in a village setting. Very nice. So it was the kind of childhood that was nice. That all the villagers looked after you, all the villagers worried about you, all the villagers fed you. So mangoes, pawpaws, whatever you want.
Back then, when a child belonged to the village.
We did. We all belonged to a village. Mami. Everyone called my mother Mami.
Okay.
So she was the mother of the village, and daddy too. So they would look after us. So it was a nice growing up with 4 brothers. I went to the Aga Khan primary school, a day school, and from there to Gayaza High School for my O levels. After that, came back to a day school. I was in Kololo Secondary School.
You're in Kololo SS?
I was.
Wow.
Yes. For the last 2 years.
You're my OG.
I am. You were from Kololo.
Yes.
It was a nice school. It is a nice school. Why did I come back, one might ask? I think my headmistress really thought I would be better off in a day school.
Okay.
In boarding, I was always rebelling against one
always
thing or
getting
another.
sick.
getting in trouble and yes.
Trouble and getting sick.
I was sick, but as a sportswoman, so sick was not
A part of
an
you.
option. No.
Okay.
But she felt I would be better off in a day school, although I had the grades.
Yes.
So I went to Kololo SS, and from there joined the ones I left at Gayaza in medical school. That's my career.
Wow.
Yeah. Finished that, worked in Mulago for a little while for internship, but that time, this was during President Amen's time.
Yeah.
My husband had a bit of a problem with, he was working at the breweries, and the government thought he had produced bad beer for the army.
Wow.
So he had to leave the country.
To go in exile.
To go in exile.
Okay.
I stayed behind because I hadn't finished my internship, and I would have problems getting a job when I went out there. So he left, and he would go. Of course, he was working for the breweries, which has branches all over the place. So he quickly got a job in Zambia breweries.
Okay.
And I joined him after a while. After I finished my internship, joined him with my first son. So worked in Zambia for 2.5 years. Came back with my husband came back with the Lule government. Very short.
Yeah, it was very short.
It was very short. So he did come back and worked as general manager of Uganda breweries.
Okay.
But as you remember, the government did not last long, and Obote too came back.
Yes.
I think when Obote too came back, they really wanted the position of general manager of the breweries for one of their supporters.
Their allies.
So again, he had to leave. He had left us in Nairobi, so I saw him coming back.
He came back here and left you in Nairobi?
He didn't trust what was happening here at that time. So we stayed in Nairobi, at the breweries in Nairobi. They have a guest house, so stayed there with my 2 kids at that time. And I saw him coming back by bus. Dressed like
any other ordinary person.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was helped across the border by the Umeme, at that time UEB workers.
Meme officers.
Yes, they had a transformer that was Uganda's, but was across the border.
Okay.
So he was able to go in their truck wearing their red...
like an employee of Umeme.
And come across the border, after which he just continued to Nairobi. Okay. So I see him coming back, and then we lived in Kenya for the next few until 1986, and came back with the president.
The current regime, yes, interim.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Long story in a short period of time.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Okay, talking about your profession,
yes.
Did you grow up like wanting to be a doctor, or it's something that came across? You just realized it when you were at high school, or it was, or becoming, or going to medical school was any other option that any student can take?
Okay. Well, no. For me, it was never an option. My father wanted me right from when I was in nursery school. He told me I was going to be a doctor.
Okay.
When my father tells you something, I love my father so much. I could not disappoint him. So for me, I never thought, what is it that I like? That never was a discussion point. And since for me sciences were okay, easy for me, I kept on getting the grades. I made it to medical school, and he was very, very happy when I became a doctor.
Wow, interesting.
Yes.
How did you meet your husband?
Oh, okay.
Just
interesting.
Yeah,
yes. I know many people want to know that. I used to play tennis. I was the junior champion. Okay. And the company British American Tobacco BAT used to sponsor tennis. Okay. They sponsored what was the African tennis competition and the junior tennis competition. So they knew us as tennis players. And when we asked for a job between A-levels and university, we would have about 8 months, I think. You finished A-levels in November and then didn't start university until something like August. I think it's very similar to what happens now. Yeah. So we had a very long holiday. So we asked them, can we come and work? And because we were their people, we were their players, they gave us jobs. Me and my friend Gertrude, we were at the reception. One of us would be the receptionist, the other one would be the telephone operator. and we worked there. And that's where my husband was working.
Okay.
He was the assistant chief engineer at British American Tobacco. That's where I met him.
So he saw this striking beauty.
I don't know about that.
Well, anyway. Interesting. Tell me about your family. How many kids do you have? And
I have 3 kids.
okay,
2 boys and 1 girl.
one
The
girl.
only one the Ugandans know is
Navio. I know.
We call him Danny. So Danny is actually the youngest. So
Okay.
I have Freddie is the eldest.
Mm.
He's here. He works with me on the farm.
Okay.
He also manages Navio. He's been managing Navio.
Okay.
Helped him get to where he is now.
Okay. Yeah, he's doing well, quite well. Yeah.
Managing him well. Then I have a daughter in between.
Mm.
Michelle is a doctor, intensive care specialist. She's working in Abu Dhabi at the moment.
I was going to ask you if you got a kid
Any doctor.
that took your line of profession.
Yes.
You're
At
very
least I
lucky,
got one.
at
My
least.
husband didn't get any. He was an engineer, a mechanical engineer. So none of the boys are engineers. But yes, my daughter wanted to be a doctor. I did not push her in the way that I was pushed by my dad. I did not push her, but in fact, I recommended otherwise. I told her, you have potential. She could do anything, anything in the world. You have huge potential, and you could be very, very rich. But in medicine,
There's no money.
there's no money. That's what I told her.
Humanitarian work, you can go
Yeah,
somewhere
you
and
have-
go.
Yes, you have to be helpful.
Yeah.
You swear to look after your patients, and you don't asking for money is not your number one
Like priority, yes.
But no, she was determined. She loves it. She's doing it, and actually, I think she has even found the money. So she's okay.
And by the way, we talked about Navio himself.
Yes.
How did you take it at first when he came up to you and said, Mommy, I'm going to be an artist? I want to think. What was your first impression?
He had always, right from primary school, been the one who does the main part in the play, in any school, whatever.
Any competition that is
any sports, he was always there. So he always had talent.
active,
For most
yes.
things, for acting, for music, and then rapping came along. He would rap his part in Shakespeare, for example. The teachers would allow him to rap
Yes.
Shakespeare. So we could see the talent. Came home, and I guess people also loved Navio very much, even when he was a little boy. So you go about Hope Mukasa. You know Hope Mukasa?
Yes,
He
yeah.
was a
Yeah, I do.
producer and a musician himself. And he would allow him in the studio, and they would do a song with him. So Steve Jean was also very young. He's one of the present directors of various music producers. Steve Jean actually did his first song. He was only 13.
It took him on.
Well, no, he was only 13, so he was doing
13?
him a favor. Yes. So he comes home with his little tape and he's done a rap and so excited, which we didn't take too seriously. Then he meets this group of friends, Abba,
The Myth.
and the Myth, and so they form a group and they start doing rapping. Okay. I would go and attend karaoke at Mukasa's place and various little shows. The next thing I hear, they've won
Awards.
They've been nominated for all kinds
For
of
an
awards.
award.
The next thing they're going to South Africa was I don't know, this award that was won by Wipolo, from northern Uganda.
The pastor, yes.
They were also nominated.
Pastor
He won
Okudi.
it. Okudi.
Yes, yeah.
Pastor Okudi won it. But the boys were also nominated. They were, I don't know, 15 or something. Thinking, okay.
Great for them.
But not nothing serious.
Yeah.
The next thing they're off to, I don't know, it's Nigeria. Okay, maybe this is serious. But still, we were determined as a family, and no, you still have to go to school.
To go back to school.
I had somebody yesterday say they wasted their time. Maybe they did. I still believe you should go to school and finish your degree. But luckily for him, he went to South Africa, where music is the thing.
Yeah.
Where, hip hop
Yes.
He's very strong. Whereas here, they were just trying to start hip hop. It was really hard work. So when he was in South Africa, he benefited a lot from being there. And he was very popular even with the workers and the students. And so it was a good thing.
At the university?
Yes, and he did. He actually did his exams well throughout.
Okay.
He was okay. He didn't have a problem. Though he was dyslexic when he was very young. That's a learning difficulty that one has. But he was able to overcome that. And he was doing quite well. So yeah, he comes home with his degree and hands it to me.
And you have your degree? Now let me be.
And actually we had promised that if you do finish, we will help you.
Wow.
So then his older brother took him on as a manager. He did his MBA and his business, took him on as a manager. And yeah, the sky is now the limit. He's doing quite well.
Wow, that's great. I know that's very inspiring for women out there, because there are few parents who can do that for their kids. If you grow up when your parents told you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor. And if you start any nonsense that you're going to be an artist, you can even chase you from their home. Yes. Well,
I think they are now seeing the light, since quite a large number of us parents have allowed our children, and they know us. You know, we all know Juliana's mom.
Yes.
Don't we? And she's quite happy that her doctor.
Yeah, she's comfortable with that.
She's comfortable with it. We know Baby Cool's parents.
Yes.
We know Mayanjas.
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Mayanja.
Yes.
All their kids, I don't know
how they all ended up in music.
They're all artists and very good artists. So yeah, I think the parents now have seen the light. That if your child has a talent,
you support them.
Support it and take him as far as he can go. Yes, but still, I would still insist education as well. I think you can do
first.
Both. You can do both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, talking about your profession as being a doctor, how was it back then? What challenges did you get? Because I'm very sure by the time you became a doctor, we had very few female doctors and female lawyers. Those professions were male dominated by then. How did you handle all that, the pressure?
Yes, it wasn't that bad at our time. I remember my Dr. Josephine Nambos was the very first one. She had such challenges. She even had to go she was in Namagunga, she had to go to do sciences in Namiryango, which was a boys' school. Yeah, but for us at Gayaza, we were okay. It was very strong sciences there. Kololo was all right. I came into medical school, and about 8 of my friends that I had left at Gayaza joined me. So actually in the class of about 120, 11 of us were girls.
Okay.
2 or 3 from Weranyange and Namagunga, a few, but most of us were originally from Gayaza. I went to SS in between Kololo. Yeah, so we had a good group, and therefore we were strong. We could support one another. Otherwise, yes, it was a challenge. All of a sudden, you're sitting in a classroom with so many boys.
Yeah.
For me, it was okay. I have 4 brothers.
Yeah, you're used to that.
Just from 2 years at Kololo. But for my friends, it was quite a shock.
And those from single schools, and you...
Yes,
yes.
It was quite a shock. Then you come to the classroom, and here's a dead body for you. That's medical school. The very first day you arrive, you are given your body that you're going to do anatomy on.
A dead body.
Yes, that's the first thing you get as soon as you arrive. And we had the language, of course. Medicine, we talk about everything. So for you who's coming from a school where you were very polite, where you don't talk about sex, you don't talk about, and here they are being talked about as everyday things.
Normal business.
Normal business, because people are going to come to you with diseases in those particular items that you are used to not talking about.
Yes.
Yes. So it was quite shocking. It was quite shocking. My friends, of course, we come and we get money for the first time as well. None of us had ever really held money.
Like God's salary.
Yes, we get a boom. They used to give us a boom every term. Quite a big one at that time. It was 3,000 shillings. Now it doesn't sound much, but at that time it was money. So it was wigs, Afro wigs for all 11 of us, including me who had a lot of hair, I still had wigs still had to be fashionable. So wigs and clothes and and the person you saw yesterday has suddenly changed. It was interesting. But yes, it was challenging as well. Doing medicine is not easy. You study very long hours. For me, who had been a sportsman, sportswoman, and now was playing tennis, there's no way I could play tennis because we don't finish classes until 7 p.m., even 8 p.m. So I had to find a new game. That's when I learned how to play table tennis because we play that indoors in our halls and you can play at night. So I moved from tennis to table tennis. And it was fun. It was difficult, hard. My roommate, Bessie, who was doing history, would have 1 or 2 lessons a day.
And you throughout?
Throughout. We would leave at 7 and we'd come back at 8. And we'd be busy the whole day long. But I guess that's what you need to do to train you for the very difficult work you do.
And even when you're into practice, you have to be patient. And at times that's very hard for some people.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
Well, away from that, back to you. Okay, it's in line with the profession still. How did you shift from being a doctor into becoming a businesswoman or into entrepreneurship? And saying, okay, fine, now I've been a doctor for some years, now I'm going to venture into this new sector.
No, it wasn't by choice at all. It wasn't by choice. I had worked in Zambia for nearly 3 years, Nairobi for about 7 years, and then I had come back home. I was working in Parliament. I was treating the MPs, the staff around there, State House staff, and the senior officers of the army. So I was working as a doctor for government of Uganda when my husband passed away. He got a heart attack and he died. He was still an MP. He was what they call historical MPs, those ones that were 10 of them, and so he was still in Parliament, but he was no longer a minister. He had been a minister in the first 5 years of government. And now he was no longer a minister, but he was an MP. But on top of that, they had privatized Crown Lake Victoria Bottling Company, which produces Pepsi products. They had privatized it, him and 2 friends, 2 business associates, Mr. Nzei and Mr. Kayaroki. So when my husband passed away, we had to sit down. I had to sit down and think, what happens now? What do I do? Do I stay in my medical profession? That would mean I need to move the kids out of the kind of schools their father was able to afford for them. Between both of us, me working and him working, we could do much more. But now it was just me as a medical doctor. There was no way. I would have had to bring the kids home, and some were in UK, Kenya.
International schools.
International schools, very expensive. So I had to make the choice. So I left my medical profession and went to the business. I told my partner had come, my partners, that here I am, I'm here, I'm available.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. The question was, you're ready? Yes, for what?
What?
Is there anything you know here? And the answer truly
any experience?
Was no, absolutely none. I didn't know a thing about business. I had not even, when my husband was telling me, I had never paid attention. Maybe if anybody's learning from me, please don't do what I did. Pay attention. Take interest. Go and visit the company. Go and see what they do. Try to understand. You never know when the similar thing happens to you. Whether you are the man and it's the woman that has a business, show interest. Or the other way around.
Even the kids. Good to engage them, the kids.
That time they were a bit younger, So I go there. Luckily, they knew me. Amos, at least we play squash together, so he knew me. They knew I was at least a medical doctor. So although I don't know business, I can't be totally incapable.
So did you go back to school?
I did. I had to. I had to, but I did not do long-term courses. I did not do, say...
You just upgraded. Upgraded.
Short-term courses.
Okay.
Yeah, so Waswa Baluna was the principal of Commerce in Makerere. He had very nice short-term courses on customer care, on marketing, on finance for non-finance managers. So I actually attended everything that they and the other things where they didn't have courses, they came and taught me. He said to me, he gave me somebody, one of his senior students, and they would come and teach me. So in that way, I learned just what I needed. I did not learn to get a degree or to get a certificate. I learned what I needed practically for business.
Let's get the basics and get to know what it's all about.
What it's all about, especially the finance was.
Well, on that point, we're going to be going for a very short break, and then we return shortly with more of Dr. Maggie Kigozi's life journey. Still watching Her Moments on Record TV.